Successful Man 1. Lots of people say they'll focus on career and relationships in their 30s and 40s once they've experienced the world. I've seen this ruin people. As they get older, they get set in their ways. Laziness in their 20s becomes settling in their 30s. Your 20s isn't time to fuck around. Your 20s is the time to discipline yourself to later life success. Channel your youthful energy in your 20s into a career if you can, as that's how you build experience when you can work twice as hard as other people. Always be talking about your career expectations to your boss and your boss's boss. Not arrogantly. Enlist their support. I'm doing X now, but in a few years I'm wanting to do Y. How did you do it? Emotional intelligence. It's not taught in schools very much, but it's 10x more important to career success than anything else I know. Learn how you behave in situations. Learn how to control your irrational impulses. Learn how to read people, understand their motivations, and how to speak to them. This isn't cynical manipulation, it's learning how to lead and work with people. How to maximize your and your team's potential. Financial discipline. Save a minimum of 10% of what you earn, starting day one. The question is whether you need a new car, a bigger condo, a house, etc. Possessions tie you down and limit your options. Image is important. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. When I switched from business casual to suit and tie, I got noticed, almost instantly. Didn't do anything different than I was already doing. Relationships. As you grow in success and wealth, it will be harder to make commitments to others. Everything becomes framed as what you're giving up versus what you'll gain. Work hard to meet good quality people. Learn to identify superficiality. The hot fashionable girl with the perfect body, always popular, and flirts with everyone might be fun at the moment, but is she someone you want to wake up next to every day for the rest of your life? Find a quality person who wants to be with you, who can be your best friend, and whom you will be willing to sacrifice for without regret. Otherwise, don't bother with marriage. Life gets hard with career, job, kids, and as you hit midlife, you become accountable for your parents as well. It gets harder, not easier. Successful Man 2. The biggest thing that others haven't mentioned is to choose your partner well. The smartest thing I ever did was marry my wife. I was a terrible student. Never finished college, worked a series of crap jobs until I got to the point where I realized that if I really wanted to spend the rest of my life with this amazing woman, I was going to have to show her a future worth signing on for. Got my act together, got my first low-level job in my field, leveraged that into another, a better job, have continued doing that to the point where companies whose names you know pay $200 divided by hour for the privilege of my time. A partnership with someone who provides appropriate emotional, physical, financial, intellectual, co-parenting, etc. support as needed will make more difference in your life than any amount of education. Real work-life balance requires, in my opinion, someone worth wanting to go home to. Successful Man 3. A lot of good advice here already, but I'll add a bit of my experience with regard to your education. I was a straight B student while sleeping through high school. Very little effort went into passing my classes, and I did not have to cultivate any studying or time management skills. I thought that it would be the same when I went to college despite being advised otherwise. Wrong. I got my ass handed to me, dropped out before I flunked out, worked a bunch of crap jobs for about 5 years until I realized, this is my life unless I change something. I went back to school, actually attended and paid attention in my classes, did the assignments, and lo and behold, graduated with honors. My degree is in information systems, and I work in operations for a large company. I make a good living. My work-life balance is pretty good. 45 minutes 50-hour work weeks with almost no weekend work. My degree was directly responsible for my career, as I was recruited to this company straight out of school. I wish I'd listened to the people that told me that college is much harder than high school, and to be prepared. I wish I had those 5 years back. I wish I'd been making good money and started saving earlier in life. So that's my advice in a nutshell. Successful Man 4. Success can only be determined by the individual. I consider myself successful, but I am not rich. Money was never a huge motivation for me though. I pay my bills and live pretty comfortably. I own a small business and love what I do, so to me I am successful. To answer your questions, I never finished college. When I was in college I hated every minute of it. I was miserable. I never liked school, and college just felt like an extension of that, only I was paying to be miserable this time around. I was in the rat race for 20 years. I was doing all sorts of it, Tech support, office compliance type stuff for companies I didn't care about. I was a hard-working drone for years. I was never cutthroat enough to backstep up my way into advancement in those jobs. One day I woke up, realized that I had wasted a third of my life doing things I hated and decided to do something for myself for once. I did every ill-advised thing that everyone ever told me was a bad idea. I quit my job without having another job lined up. I just started doing the things I had always wanted to do without regard for other people's criticism because I realized that I had always followed their advice and I hated where it got me. I had given up on my dreams and took the safe route all of my life. It was just time to listen to my own advice for once. I learned a trade skill. It took a long time. I had no previous experience, and I had to take a minimum wage job for a year to do it. It was humbling and exciting at the same time. It was also very difficult. Anything worth doing typically is. After 2 years of minimum wage pay and a lot of sacrifices, I opened my own business. A business that has put food on my plate and a roof over my head. You won't be reading about it in Forbes, and I'm sure I'll never find myself taking an IP public. But I make a living doing what I love. And that is worth more to me than any of the rest of it. If you take anything away from this, always be true to yourself. Take advice, but always take your own advice first. You know what is best for you, and only you can live your life.